Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stories like these. Now, let's get into today's story video. AITA refusing to let my girlfriend take my son after his mom begged me to. The divorce between my ex-wife and myself occurred 3 years ago, one of the reasons being that she was, and continues to be, more committed to her profession than I was, and we are now sharing custody of our 4-year-old son. My current girlfriend and I have been together for nearly 2 years, and we want to tie the knot by the end of 2022. My girlfriend is quite fond of my child and likes spending time with him on a regular basis. So much so that she let my ex drop him off at our place for work. She's a nurse. The fact that my girlfriend never complained about it made me believe that my ex was taking advantage of my girlfriend's kind nature and undermining our parenting arrangement. I was right. The other day, my girlfriend and I were relaxing at home. In the middle of the night, my ex-wife called and asked if she could drop off my child for a few hours. My ex-wife had the phone on speaker while talking to my girlfriend, so I could hear what she was saying from a distance. I phoned just as my girlfriend was ready to say yes and urged my former wife to stop taking advantage of my girlfriend and to stop taking advantage of my ex-wife. I needed to cover an emergency shift right then and there, she said, adding that she had been unable in finding a replacement on such a short notice. That it was not mine or my girlfriend's fault, and that she should be ashamed of herself for hurting my girlfriend in such a manner, was what I told her. My girlfriend continued to look as my ex stated that she was not using her because she is my son's future stepmom, to which I responded, "Well, that doesn't make her your personal babysitter FFS." To which she responded, "Well, that doesn't make her your personal babysitter FFS." But she said it was between her and my girlfriend. My girlfriend recommended me to allow my ex-wife to bring my child over, but if I did so, it would set a precedent for my ex-wife to engage in similar behavior in the future, which would be detrimental to our relationship. My ex-wife begged, but I pushed her to get a babysitter. She lamented that she had been unable to find one, so I hung up and handed the phone back to my girlfriend, who was listening in. Angry with me, my girlfriend said that nothing I did was right, and that I should have let my ex-wife to bring my child over to her house. So when I asked her whether being used as a babysitter was acceptable with her, she said that spending time with my child is not the same as babysitting. I explained to her that saying yes all of the time and not setting boundaries would not be beneficial to her. Angrier yet, she accused me of exaggerating the matter and ruining some precious time with my child. She came up to the second floor and claimed to be angry by how I dealt with the situation. I had the impression that I was supporting her in asserting herself and creating boundaries with those who were attempting to take advantage of her. AITA? Story 2. AITA for being upset about not getting a wheelchair. I have myalgic encephalomyelitis. I began falling many times each week and had to purchase a cane. My situation has deteriorated and I am on the verge of collapsing despite using my cane. I needed a wheelchair, so we went looking for one today. When I discovered one and used it, I got instant relief. It's more easy to use than I anticipated, and it's the most comfortable I've felt in months. My boyfriend stated we couldn't buy it right now, but we could have it the next weekend when he collected his tax return. I was perplexed since we had PS 1,200 in savings from my last pay after being fired due to my handicap, and it isn't going away before then. He expressed concern about losing his jobs since he had been absent from work for an extended period of time. This occurs a lot when I'm too sick to go with him to work. He gets anxiety about going in, and having me walk with him helps. I told him I'm having trouble walking into work, so I'm not sure how he'll get there. I also informed him that I can't work without a wheelchair, something I've previously told him but he denies. He sought advice from his mother, a nurse. He returned from the phone and stated she didn't encourage it since they're PS50 on the Red Cross website and can be obtained via the NHS. I burst into tears, mostly at the final sentence, since my spouse is aware that I was denied a walking cane twice by the NHS, despite suffering many falls every week. A Redditor gifted my cane to me. I agreed to just return home since it was evident that he didn't want us to purchase it. While we waited for his mother to pick us up, I checked the Red Cross website. The cheapest wheelchair they offer costs about PS 170 and must be pushed by someone else. The most affordable self-propelled vehicle is PS 245. The one I wanted cost PS 150. I declared in the vehicle that I couldn't live like this any longer. His mother said that they were less expensive at the Red Cross. I informed her of the exact rates, She assured me that I would be able to receive them via the hospital. I told her they wouldn't give me a walking cane, so how does she believe they'll give me a wheelchair? She claims there is further assistance available. But when I inquired as to what assistance, she was unable to provide an answer. I inquired as to how they expect me to go to my interviews and job in the coming weeks when I can hardly get out of the home. I can't do anything about it, she said. They all agree that it's too pricey, which leads me to believe that I'm overreacting. Maybe they're correct because I'm not good with money. I guess I wasn't as considerate of my partner's feelings about spending so much money as I should have been. I burst into tears before even telling him that I had been denied a walking cane or visiting the Red Cross website. He also does a lot for me. He often bathes me when I'm too weak to do it myself, and he lost his prior job because he had to take so much time off to care for me since I was so ill that I couldn't even go from one room to another securely. Update: my boyfriend and I chatted this morning, and a lot of things have been sorted up. As it turned out, I was I made assumptions about what they said and their intentions. His mother hadn't reviewed the webpage. She'd seen them a long time ago and didn't realize they'd changed, but I misinterpreted their language. He wasn't backpedaling when he indicated he was worried about losing his job. I just assumed. He was taken aback since he didn't believe we were going to purchase. I thought I told him that I have a horrible case of brain fog, so I'm forgetful. I assumed he was aware of my curiosity, particularly because I was eager to go on what would be a grueling trek for me. I assumed once more. There were several comments claiming that he and his mother are abusive, which is a common topic in comments on AITA relationship blogs. I'd want to address this here since I was feeling overwhelmed by the volume of comments and was having trouble with my mental health. These two aren't abusers, and he isn't taking money from me. I'm the only one with access to the savings account. It's an old one that we share. His mother took us in when we needed assistance a few years ago, and she has been quite tolerant of my dislike to children, even if she doesn't understand it. She looks beyond that since she works hard to make people feel comfortable. She's gone out of her way to buy the only migraine medications that work for me, despite working absurd hours when I couldn't leave the home and my partner's hours at the stores wouldn't be open. She was attempting to assist in locating a less expensive solution. I messed up, thinking she had lied, and I misrepresented her. My spouse has been my rock for the last 7.5 years. He assisted me in getting away from my family who assaulted me for 19 years. And he has been supportive from the day I was diagnosed with ME. He's been patient and taken on a lot of responsibility as my abilities as a spouse and around the home have dwindled. He never compelled me to walk with him. Instead, I agreed because I wanted to encourage him. Posts on this site are simply a glimpse of people's life, particularly with a character restriction. Even before I realized I'd made a mistake, I had to edit what I'd written down to suit the character limit. I really irritated him, and he read the original post as well as all the comments labeling him an abuser. I didn't make such statements, but I may as well have since I blogged about it without thinking about the possibility of a misunderstanding on my behalf. I should have contacted him. My brain is a jumble, and I messed about with antidepressants, pain relievers, and booze last night. I wasn't attempting to end my life. I simply wanted to experience something different, something lighter. I've called my doctor to seek assistance with my mental health and to receive an official diagnosis, since I believe there's a lot more going on than simply melancholy. He promises that we'll receive the chair over the weekend. I've done a lot of damage to him, yet he's still concerned about my health.